The story of Rapunzel is a classic fairy tale in which a girl manages to pull a man up a tower with her freakishly long hair. The man then whisks her away from her tower, and after some trials they live happily ever after. But is this even possible? Would her hair break under all that weight? We decided to find out.
We had already been told that length does not affect the strength of hair. That left only a certain number of variables: the color of the hair, the number of strands in the hair, and if the hair was tied, braided, or simply left straight.
From there we chose to test 3 different colors of hair: black, brown, and blonde. Then we tested the number of strands: 1, 10, and 25 strands. We also tested to see if the hair was stronger braided, knotted, or left normally hanging down.
To test the strength of hair, we attached a weight to its end. For the single strand, we could use a plastic cup with a string handle to tie the hair to. We slowly added sand in the cup until the hair broke. Then, we collected the sand to be massed later. The cup worked well for one strand, but when we added more strands of hair, it wasn't enough to break it. So we got a big bucket to use for our new weight holder.
This thing will be our hair handle.
Now that we had collected all of our data, it was time to analyze. When the hair was knotted, the hair broke sooner than it was when it was left straight. But when braided, the hair was at its strongest. This had to do with the distribution of the weight from the load. The braided hair most efficiently and evenly distributed the force of the pull, while knotting the hair made the force distribution very uneven, creating weaker spots. Brown hair seemed to be the strongest of all the hair colors, while blonde and black were weaker. Black being the weakest, but very close compared to the strength of the blonde.
Then we wondered why hair color would have an impact on the strength of hair. Doing a little research, we realized it had to do with the width of the strands. Wider, thicker strands are better at distributing weight, and the thickness of hair tends to vary with color.
So now to the most important question of all. Could Rapunzel hold up a man with all her hair? From the amount we saw that a few strands of hair could hold up, we bet that she could have easily done this, but we decided to check mathematically. We made 3 graphs of our data from the strength of unbraided, unknotted hair, 1 graph for each color. An evident linear relationship was shown, so from there we derived an equation for each. Since Rapunzel in the movie Tangled had blonde hair, we decided to use that equation to represent her hair.
Next, we found out that the average head of hair has about 100,000 strands. Redheads having about 90,000, blondes having about 140,000, and brunettes and blacks falling somewhere in between.
All we had left was to plug in our values.
And in solving all that, we found out Rapunzel could hold about 18,300 kilograms on her hair. The average man is 79 kilograms, about 175 pounds. So that means Rapunzel could potentially hold about 230 men on her hair. Of course, under that strain, her neck would break, so the hair would have to be wrapped around something to keep the strain off her.
Error. Our results may slightly differ from the actual value of human hair strength because we used horsehair instead. We also generalized the width of hair by color, which could vary for every person's hair, or every horse's hair.
So yes, all of you fairy tale lovers can sleep easy knowing that the story of Rapunzel is not all made up fluff. The princess really could haul people around with all that hair.